Welcome back, you coinaholics. Welcome. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound, and I hope you guys are strapped in and ready for another fantastic find that you could look for, not in change so much, but in your wallet or your purse. This piece of currency error will certainly fool you, but if you're able to find one, I'm happy to say that this note is extremely valuable in all grades. We're going to take a look at a few examples. One in particular that sold on eBay here a few weeks ago that is definitely worth mentioning. All right, people tend to gravitate towards, stuff that comes out of pocket change or coins as being kind of one of the main chase pieces when you're out there looking for that big top prize. But as you guys know, I'm not partial to paper currency either. All right, that dollar bill, that 5, 10, or 20 might be hiding something that could be worth a lot of money. So today's topic is going to be an error type called multiple impressions. Now, it really does sound like, something that is very obvious. All right, you're gonna have a dollar bill or a 5 or whatever the case may be that probably has been printed multiple impressions. And I have a great example to help illustrate this, okay? But before I do, I can't believe I forgot this, but make sure that if you haven't done so, hit the like, share this video, and most of all, subscribe. We're going to be doing a giveaway that's going to be awesome for the holidays. It's going to be right around Black Friday. So it's going to be huge. You guys stay tuned for that one. It's going to be pretty amazing. But the note that I wanted to talk about that sold on eBay is going to be this note that you see flashed up on the screen here. Now, if you're going dizzy right now, that's understandable because this note is pretty hard to miss, and it might give you a mild headache. So yeah, just a little caution there. But this right here, ladies and gentlemen, obviously is a Royal Bureau of Engraving and Printing screw-up like I've never seen before. But how can something like this possibly ever find its way into circulation? Well, some people just don't know. Or some might say that this is counterfeit. Or, someone, experimented with a $5 bill and reprinted over it to give it the appearance of an error. Well, I'm happy to say that this one is a true blue, genuine error note. So let me tell you a little bit about the note first of all. Okay, this is an eBay sale, October 20th, by a seller in the name of Great Toning, who, by the way, is one of the best eBay coin sellers that primarily focuses on toned coins. All right, so to see this on there may or may not be kind of like out of the ordinary for this particular seller because he has some pretty unique items. But this one right here is truly a marvel to look at. All right, you might even go blind a little bit, and that's understandable. It's a 1977 $5 Federal Reserve note. So it's one of the smaller, or one of the older, what we call small heads. Because as you guys know, today's currency is much more modified with a bigger portrait of the president in the middle of the note, along with some other security features that make up kind of today's standard of anti-counterfeiting technology. So this one right here features the multiple impression error, where you have the second print printed multiple times on the front face of the note. It's an incredibly visually appealing error, okay, which is why it's very, very sought after in the error community. And not only that, these notes sell for a lot of money. This particular example sold for $3,510 on eBay. And honestly, is this something that you're going to find in your wallet? It's a possibility. Maybe not to this extent. This is a really radical, if not dramatic, version of a multiple impression error. Okay? And again, extremely sought after. People are paying huge amounts of money for this type of error. So keep an eye out for any iteration of this particular note. as you come across it. Now, the reverse of the note is normal. Okay, there's nothing out of the ordinary. It's printed as normal through the BEP standards and tolerances, so you're not going to see anything kind of eye-popping on the reverse. But all that action is on the front. Here's a close-up of the portrait with Abraham Lincoln looking really, really scary. Like, this is a note straight out of the Twilight Zone. It's that crazy looking. So that's the one big example I wanted to talk about that's sold on eBay. Now, I have come up with a few other kind of like similar errors, okay, a little bit mild to wild, okay. The big one is going to be at the end, as I have 3 notes to share with you. So the first one that I wanted to talk about that kind of helps piggyback the multiple impression error type is going to be this 1977A $5 Federal Reserve note. Now, the one thing that is kind of noteworthy on this one is that it's a PMG EF40. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, it's graded, but EF40 means that this note has seen plenty of action before it was pulled out of circulation. Okay, take a look at this thing. Some would say that this is a made-up, fake error note. Okay, and that might be the case, but there are certain things, you know, you have to look at to take into consideration of whether or not you have a genuine error or something that was played around with at one point. But this is a genuine error note. So it's anybody's guess how something like this would happen. Maybe a sheet flipped over and they accidentally printed, you know, the back face of that note onto the front. And furthermore, it's sideways, which is crazy. This is a crazy, insane error right here. So this is another example of a multiple impression. It doesn't have to necessarily be just the front print, the first or second print printed multiple times. It could be the back design printed on the front and vice versa, okay? And it could be all angled and, you know, off center and things like that. So this one right here, sideways back print on front. This one sold on Heritage Auctions January 5th of 2018 for $1,800. Okay, I feel like it should sell for more than that because it's such a just a really grandiose type of error that you just don't come across that often, but you never know. Again, the big mindset is, wow, this note looks like it's played with. I'm just going to go ahead and spend it. And that's why it is graded EF40. It has seen its time around the block through many cash registers before someone finally decided to challenge exactly what they had there. So the next note I wanted to talk about is probably one that's more identifiable for you and I, because this is on a more modern, excuse me, more modern note. Okay, and this is a 1996 $20 Federal Reserve note. This is the more recent big-headed portrait of this note. Now keep in mind, this is not a colorized note. This is the same just black and white, you know, type of note with the green third print on there for the serial numbers that we were used to seeing, you know, 15, 20 years ago. But these are still widely available out there. I still get these big head black and whites on a regular occasion. Now, much like the 5 that we saw previous, this is a $20 Federal Reserve note. Okay, it's a PMG Choice Very Fine 35. Okay, so it's a grade point lower than that $5 Fed Reserve note. This one undoubtedly was pulled out of change, but this is probably more along the lines of an example of a piece of currency that you'll want to keep an eye out on because it's so unassuming. That's the word to describe it. Take a look at the district number, the A1, and also the district seal. It looks like either, you know, it's like overprinted a lot with more ink, or it's been double printed, which is the case on this one. So this one is another version of the multiple impression error. So the district overprint stuff, okay, was doubled on here, as you could see. Now this is a note that's sold on Heritage Auctions November 12th of 2017 in the amount of $156. So at the very least, a note like this will be worth $100, $200, $300. This one is probably on the kind of the less dramatic side of the scale, as you can see by not only the amount of money it sold for, but the overall outward appearance. Not saying that this is least desirable, but people are paying less for a note like this. But it's definitely worth mentioning because this is more likely of a type of note that you would be able to find in your wallet or going through those straps or whatever your fancy is. So we're going to finish off with undoubtedly the best and the boldest and the biggest multiple impression overprint error that you're ever going to see on a note. Now, it's not realistic to say that you could find one of these, but again, the outward perception of these notes is it looks like it was played around with a counterfeiter or someone doing a garage job or working the printer at home, trying to really make a note just like dance off the screen. And this one is it. This one, however, is a real, genuine multiple impression error. So it's a 1988A $1 Federal Reserve note. This one graded PMG Choice Unk uncirculated 63, and it also exhibits exceptional paper quality. So this one probably came out of a brand new BEP strap upon release. All right, so something like this probably won't circulate too much, if any, because it just sticks out like a sore thumb. This one, this probably has one of the most long drawn out explanations on the reverse slab label, and it simply notates a non-standard multiple impression of back on front, okay? And that's what you have here for this particular error. Now this one, ladies and gentlemen, sold for $21,600 through a currency auction on Heritage September 8th of 2017. So this was they were all pretty recent sales to give you an idea of just the overall range and scope of what these are worth. But this one right here is the most dramatic and radical version of a multiple impression error. But keep in mind that these can all exhibit various different types of attributes for this particular error. So make sure you check every single 1, 5, 10, or 20 as you come across it. Anything that looks like it's doubled or just kind of overprinted with extra ink or something like that, you might have a multiple impression error. So I want to thank everyone for joining in on this really cool episode of something new that you can find in your paper currency. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Like, share, and subscribe. Give me a great big like on this video. That would help a lot with the YouTube algorithms. And as always, you coinaholics, we are discovering together. I look forward to talking with you on the next coin or currency shindig find, and as always, enjoy the hunt. You guys take care, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.